Meanwhile, in the dragon graveyard, Gnorc guards are patrolling the stronghold while Sparks wanders the place and keeps out of sight. After a lengthy exploration, Sparks ends up at the center of the stronghold, bearing witness to Gnasty Gnorc and his allies in front of the makeshift portal. Sparks hides behind a wall in order to keep out of sight. To think, the time has come for invasion. We've always talked about how do we take over the world. We find you. Not only that, but we all get a kingdom to ourselves. I'm just jiggling with anticipation. Are we? You wait for Toasty. Let him walk to his destination. We must make haste on our conquest. Blowhard and Shemp look at each other in annoyance of Metalhead. Last I checked, Gnasty Gnorc was in charge. Yeah, it's his word we're looking for, not some old piece of hardware. Let's just start without him. I'm itching to take our homeland back. Homeland? Sparks then decides to get closer in order to survey the area and overhear more of their conversations. Bring out the fairies! At least 20 of them! Nearby, Gnorcs then open a side door that they enter, only to exit with fairies in strange jars. Huh. Looks like Fluffbutt wasn't kidding about the fairies. As the last Gnorc exits with the 20th fairy, Sparks decides to zoom quickly into the room before the door closes behind him. Sparks would ultimately find himself within a storage room, filled with extra empty jars. Sparks then begins to hear the sound of quiet crying, leading him to look around. Sparks then finds a fairy within a jar, not taken due to being accidentally hidden behind a pipe. Hello? The fairy turns around slightly startled, revealing herself to be Zoe, the fairy that guards the ancient portal. Zoe wipes her tears, getting a clearer view of Sparks. Who are you? Milady, I'm the dragonfly that's gonna get you out of here. Back at the Dragon Head portal, everyone is still processing the revelation that the dragons stole these lands from the Gnorcs and are responsible for the Gnorc Wars. Meanwhile, Mrs. Shoutfire looks down at Ember in sorrow, as Ember looks back at her in horror. I don't understand. How could we? It was not an intentional war. At least non-intentional by the whole of our people. Ha! Yeah, right. Shut it, Lamb Chop. Flame then growls at Toasty, giving him an angry expression. This causes Toasty to shake in fear. What I don't understand is, if we don't come from here, then where did we come from? Allow me to share the full story. A flashback shows an unknown land, long forgotten by history. We came from a thriving utopia, forged from flame that did not destroy, but continued to build. However, our home was threatened by a dark force, one that would engulf the whole of our lands. Desperate, the elders sought out a powerful sorceress. With the aid of the machinists, both they and the sorceress forged a portal that would send us to a land untouched by darkness. Here, back in the present, Ember still looks confused. Realm? Sheepy here said that before. Haven't any of you ever heard of the multi-dimensional theory? English, please? What he's trying to say is that there are an infinite amount of other worlds disconnected to this one. And when ours was overrun by darkness, we chose to flee to this realm in search of peace. But then, how did the war start? You told us it was unintentional. That it was. But because of our negligence, it was also inevitable. A new flashback shows the dragons, led by the younger elders, in the presence of gnarly Gnorc. The moment we arrived, we were confronted by aggression, for the Gnorcs were already a ruthless race of warriors. We had tries to talk for peace, and for a moment it looked like peace would win the day. but any dream of peace would be dashed at the hands of a former elder who saw dragons as the supreme race that should rule over all non-dragons. And so in response to what he saw as disrespectful aggression, the elder attacked Gnarly, sparking the war that would forever scar that was to be a peaceful exodus. I was the elder for the Magic Crafters family at the time, and I and your mother brought many victories in the war. However, both I and my fellow elders made decisions that would haunt us for eons. Decisions that I just couldn't forgive. I was able to forgive Aster, for his scars as the war brought on were as deep as mine. However, I could no longer bear to carry the mantle of one who made such horrid decisions, many that took the lives of innocent Gnorcs and innocent dragons. Back in the present, Ember could only look at her grandmother heartbroken, tears falling out of her eyes. Did Mom have to make decisions like that? She was the leader of a battalion outside of my vision. I can only hope that she never had to cause as much pain as we elders did. Ember shakes her head for a moment, trying to process everything. An angered Ember then turns to Toasty, walking up to him in quiet rage.
What's Gnasty and Gnarly planning?
First of all, it's my plan. Second, what makes you think I'd tell you any?
Because if you don't, I'll burn you to a crisp faster than you can say lamb chop!
We've been capturing fairies to power a makeshift portal so the Gnorc forces can invade the realms beyond this one. Turning the dragons of the Six Kingdoms to crystal was just so they'd be undefended. In fact, the Artisan Kingdom's about to be reclaimed.
What?
Back in the dragon junkyard, the fairies and jars are hooked up to the makeshift portal. Blowhard then places his hands on the two power pylons.
Begin the activation!
Blowhard then imbues his magic into the pylons, fueling the portal alongside the fairies, who are being drained of their magic.
Shem, is the potion ready?
Dr. Shem then walks up with a strange potion, giving it to Gnasty.
All ready, boss man.
Gnasty and Metalhead look at the potion in awe.
Today marks a new age for the Gnorc Empire.
Suddenly, the portal opens, leading Blowhard to stop fueling the pylons due to it being fully charged. Gnasty Gnorc then walks into the portal with the potion in hand. Within the Artisan Treasury, a portal opens, Gnasty Gnorc exiting it with the potion still in hand. Metalhead then follows behind, looking around at the bounty.
1,000 years of Gnorc conquest in this very room.
Gnasty Gnorc then picks up a few Ugu gems, looking down at them in scorn.
I always hated looking at my reflection in these gems, always reminding me of how ugly I am.
Metalhead then places his hand on Gnasty's shoulder.
Perhaps I underestimated you. You've never shown this much ambition before. That's because I didn't understand how ugly I was, until I finally saw it the last time me and Father spoke. Well now, you shall ensure the future of the Gnorc Empire. Yes. So, what of those weaklings we've allied with? We'll get rid of them after we invade at least 6 realms, one for each kingdom.
Just then, Blowhard exits the portal, scratching his body after feeling tingly for crossing it.
By the powers, I never thought going through portals would be so tingly. Prepare the spell. Yes, Jamon. I mean, General.
Blowhard then casts a spell on the potion in Gnasty's hand, lifting it in the air up high. The glass potion bottle then breaks, the liquid transforming into a small storm cloud. The cloud then begins to produce a purple rain, the droplets being that of the potion. The gems begin to glow as a result, then poofing and transforming into a new army of Gnorcs that are ready to serve the Gnorc Empire.
Right side, stay here and collect the dragon statues. Left side, return home with us. We are to prepare for the invasion.
The Gnorcs shout in prideful glee, following their leaders back to the dragon junkyard. Back at the Dragonhead portal. Well, that's just great. Not only have we lost all our treasure, we got a Gnorc situation on our hands. Again!
You must make haste now. What? But I thought you were coming with.
Now that Gnorcs are in the kingdom, someone must stay behind to ensure the safety of the dragons. But us, Sparks went in, so we kinda have to go in anyway.
You want to make it up to me? Come back when you can.
So Mrs. Shoutfire kneels down toward eye level with Ember. Always, my sweet granddaughter. And I'm so sorry. Mrs. Shoutfire hugs Ember before beginning to take her leave. Hey, what about me? Shoutfire then picks up Toasty by the wool. Oh, you're coming with me to help clean up the mess you've made. Then maybe we can talk about going easy on you. I don't take orders from a filthy drag, Mrs. Shoutfire then and gnarls at Toasty, showing her fangs and eyes filled with rage, sparking great fear in Toasty. Mrs. Shoutfire then glances at Toasty with a smug smile. Okay, I'll help. Good. We're all counting on you, children. Mrs. Shoutfire then flies away. Why is it always us saving the day? Spyro and friends then run toward the portal. Seriously, why does the fate of kingdom always rest in our hands? The hands of kids? I don't know. Prophecy?
Don't even joke about that.
Spyro and friends then have a nice little chuckle at the joke. We're stopping in front of the portal. Ready, guys? Ready! Together, the trio then enter the portal, not knowing what awaits them on the other side. Meanwhile, at the Artisan Kingdom, the new Gnorcs are collecting the crystal dragon statues. Just then, Mrs. Shoutfire appears, ready to kick Gnorc butt. I'd stay behind me if I were you. Behind Shoutfire, a freaked out Toasty is tied to her tail.
It's not like I have a choice. And where were you keeping rope? You don't have pockets.
The Gnorcs then charge at Mrs. Shoutfire, who then charges forth, ready to fight using her dragon kata. Simultaneously, Toasty is screaming like a little girl, being pulled by Shoutfire's tail. A moment later at the dragon junkyard, Spyro and friends arrive on the other side of the portal, way within a hidden spot within Gnasty Gnorc's stronghold, seemingly an abandoned lab. Whoa, this place could use some spring cleaning. Must have been an old lab that the machinists made. So, where do we start looking? I guess we gotta get out of here first. Guys? Spyro and Ember then look to see Flame with his head out of a bunker door. You might want to see this. Spyro and friends then look out of the bunker, or door, to see a maze of machinery. After exiting the hidden bunker, Spyro and friends think of what to do next. So what now? I guess we'll just have to wander. No matter what, we can't split up. The trio then looks on awkwardly as a giant Gnorc warrior, who was passing by and now looking at the trio awkwardly, standing as stiff as a board and holding a giant drumstick and wooden shield. Tackle him? Tackle him! The trio quickly tries to tackle the Gnorc warrior, only to be cartoonishly flattened by the Gnorc warrior's giant drumstick. After the trio reinflates, the Gnorc warrior yells his war cry that echoes throughout the stronghold, catching the attention of Gnasty Gnorc and Metalhead. Just then, a blast hits the Gnorc warrior from behind, causing it to be perplexed, followed by poofing back into a gem, which lands on the floor. A gem from the vault? But what exactly? From its perspective, an individual is looking down at the trio, its perspective in the form of what appears to be a HUD, analyzing the trio. Spyro then looks up, only to find nothing there, not noticing what looked like a tail going into a secret entrance in the upper wall. Well, whatever it was, it seemed to have saved our butts.
But now, thanks to that Gnorc screaming, we've lost the element of surprise.
Well, they know we're here, but not where we are, so we should be good, right? Suddenly, the ground begins to shake. What's going on?
Yo, Spyro!
Spyro and friends then look down a pathway to see Sparks and Zoe flying toward them at breakneck speed.
Sparks, are we glad to see you?
Just then, Spyro notices the mob of Gnorcs chasing after Sparks and Zoe. And the angry mob of angry orcs chasing you.
Hightail it, guys!
Spyro and friends then attempt to run away from the mob of Gnorcs alongside Sparks and Zoe. The group has a lengthy chase throughout the stronghold until they eventually reach a dead end. They then turn to see the mob of Gnorcs walk slowly toward them with hungry smiles on their face.
So, any bright ideas, dudes? We could fight, but we're outnumbered.
Yeah, 5 to 1, 2, 3, 6. Yeah, I never finished middle school. That's because the principal expelled you. Hey, how was I supposed to know? Oh, that was his butterfly. A delicious butterfly for that matter. Suddenly, a massive entrance into the wall opens up, followed by an array of what appears to be buzzsaws launching at the Gnorcs. The Gnorcs then cry in girly pain as the passing buzzsaws ape them.
Ow, 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 ow.
Just then, 2 thin slits of yellow light is seen within the tunnel behind Spyro and friends, who turn to notice.
Come with me if you want to live.
Huh, where have I heard that before? Better than nothing. Let's go! Spyro and friends then follow the mechanized voice into the tunnel, the secret door closing behind them. Within the secret tunnel, Spyro and friends run deep until they can't anymore.
Is the coast clear?
Spyro looks back to make sure. Yeah, we're good.
Sparks, dude! You're safe. And you saved a fairy. He sure did. But the rest of my friends are in trouble.
We just came from the portal.
So it's done? The sheep creep told us about that.
What's Gnasty up to, Sparks? A flashback shows Sparks and Zoe teleport outside the storage room the fairies were in. I just finished from being this lovely fairy's knight in glowing armor.
A bit over-exaggerated, but he did save me.
Sparks and Zoe then witness Blowhard enter the portal, followed by Dr. Shemp, who enters a newly opened portal. We saw every bad guy we know go through different portals. Except for that Jack-in-the-Box guy. Wonder what happened to him. Zoe then sneaks behind a orc working the destination console.
I snuck a peek at the console. They're sending each villain into the other of the 6 kingdoms to take them over.
Back in the present, Spyro and friends continue to convene. We just dealt with the old sheep creep back in Artisan.
They must have sent him to keep the Gnorcs there in line.
She's been here long enough to know every inch of this place.
By the looks of it, Gnasty doesn't know about the series of tunnels going through the entire factory.
Factory?
It's what the machinists made this place, before the Gnorcs turned it into their stronghold. This place was actually a junkyard, but the machinists understood the term one man's trash is another man's treasure, and so the factory was built to build more incredible inventions. But the tunnels were in case of emergencies. Sadly, the machinists were in your realm when they were destroyed, so the tunnels were never used. Do you think these tunnels could get us to the portal? I'm able to teleport you, but we may need the element of surprise if you're gonna take Gnasty down.
Hate to change the subject, but is anyone suspicious about the strange robot voice that came from the tunnel? And now we're about to use the same tunneling system that mysterious voice brought us in? Am I the only one who smells a trap? Or is that just the butterflies I had for breakfast? I know it's risky, but we have to get to that portal before Gnasty invades any other realm.
Follow me. A fairy's magic doesn't stop at teleportation.
Zoe then casts a spell to summon a neon light that creates a trail within the tunnels, allowing Spyro and friends to follow it.
Guess you learn something new every day, huh guys?
As Spyro and friends follow the trail, the mysterious figure from before is watching them through the same HUD system as before. Meanwhile, at the makeshift portal, a new gateway is open, ready to be entered.
See? You're still getting a place to rule.
Indeed. Before Metalhead walks through, He looks back for one last talk with Gnasty.
I must admit, you've come far in my absence, brother. For once, I'm actually proud. Something our father never was of you. I pray you don't disappoint my expectations.
Metalhead then continues on through the portal.
Oh, believe me, bro. When the dragons are done, I won't just exceed them. I'll be beyond them.
Back in the underground tunnels, Spyro and friends are walking through to get to the portal, being led by Zoe and following the trail of neon light. These tunnels are vast. Good thing we got Zoe's magic, huh, Ember? Ember has no response, leading Spyro to look behind him to see her. Ember? Ember is following behind, showing an expression of sadness, not paying attention to anything else. Spyro then slows his pace until he's walking right next to her. You okay, Ember?
Not really. All my life I've looked up to my mother. She was my hero. And now, the thought of everything she fought for being to take everything that belonged to the Gnorcs, it feels like we were never on the right side.
Ember, we're not our parents. We're not making the same mistakes as them.
I know we have to stop Gnasty and Gnarly, especially Gnarly. There's no way I'll forgive him for taking my mother from me. But still, they're not wrong for wanting to take back their home. We took it from them. Our parents took it from them.
You mean everyone else's parents?
What?
I keep thinking about when we first met Gnarly as Metalhead. He acted and looked at me like I was the first purple dragon he saw. He said that much.
Meaning?
It means that if he never saw a purple dragon on the battlefield, then we couldn't have been born at the same nesting grounds. It means he never met my parents, and I don't think any Gnorc has. Which means I don't even think they're from the Artisan Kingdom.
But then, what about the battle sounds we heard in the Realm of Dreams?
Now that we know that realms outside of our own exist, I'm beginning to think I come from one of them.
Then your parents must be out there somewhere.
I hope so. But don't forget, you guys are my family too. I wouldn't change a thing.
Neither would I, Purple Butt.
Spyro and Ember chuckle in response to Ember's jokes.
We're here!
Zoe leads Spyro and friends to the end of the tunnel to reach a vent entrance. Spyro and friends look out of the vent to see the portal activated, with Gnasty Gnorc alone standing at the front of it.
Looks like the last villain went through.
So why Gnasty Gnorc stay behind? Doesn't make sense.
Only one way to find out.
Ember then storms out of the vent, recklessly.
Ember, wait!
Ember then runs up to and confronts Gnasty Gnorc.
Alright, Gnorc. Where's Metalhead?
Gnasty Gnorc then turns around. A smug grin lay upon his face just as Spyro and friends approach Ember to back her up.
Oh, my brother's busy taking over the Beastmaker Kingdom. But don't worry, I did call a few friends to help out.
Suddenly, armed thieves appear all around Spyro and friends.
The Thieves Guild's armed support!
You didn't think I knew you'd be here? I heard that loud roar. I just didn't know how you were gonna get here. But I didn't think you'd just come out to the open like that.
So much for the element of surprise. Gnorc, we know our people took your land, your home. But don't take your revenge out on the other realms out there. They're innocent.
What did... Oh, you guys are so gullible. The war was just an obstacle in our way. We were planning to conquer the whole world before you came along. Yeah, you took our homes, but the Gnorcs are born warriors. like me and at least father before us. Glory to the Gnorc Empire! Glory to the Gnorc Empire!
The sound of Gnorc war cries can be heard all around the stronghold in response to Gnasty's words, signifying the reinforcements were on the way to the makeshift portal.
So I guess the war would have just been inevitable, huh?
On the contrary, we were gonna make the dragons our slaves in exchange for giving them a home. But one of you screwed up and the war happened. In all honesty, it was the best thing ever. Otherwise, Big Brother Gnarly would still be in charge.
So you don't even care about the suffering your own people have gone through?
Of course not. I just care about ruling over everything and getting what I want. Oh yeah, and I didn't appreciate being called ugly either. So I decided to finally strike Ike because of it.
You mean to tell us that all this was because of your own low self-esteem?
If self-esteem means making me feel bad for being, then yeah!
But what about the shard? How'd you even get that?
Huh! Wouldn't you like to know? All I'm gonna say is that this crystal is my ticket to ruling everything.
Well, you ain't taking over anything today, Gnasty Gnorc.
Okay, I think we're done here.
Gnasty then snaps his fingers, signaling the armed thieves to attack. With that, a great battle begins, Spyro and friends fending off the armed thieves as best as they can. During the skirmish, Gnasty attempts to use his spirit gem to attack Spyro and friends, but Spyro notices him.
Look out!
Spyro and friends are able to dodge the magic beam that Gnasty shot.
Go for the spirit gem!
As Spyro and friends go for the spirit gem, Gnasty Gnorc is able to push them back with his mace.
How are you gonna grab it if I'm waving it around?
Suddenly, Flame begins to work up a sweat.
Phew, it's getting hot out here.
Flame's expression then shows him getting an idea.
Wait a minute. That's it!
Flame then uses his power to absorb heat and generates it as fire. Flame then jumps up in the air for Gnasty Gnorc to see.
Here's a little something I thought of in a dream.
Flame then runs forward and then jumps in the air in front of Gnasty Gnorc.
Flash fire!
Flame unleashes a burst of flame bright enough to temporarily blind Gnasty Gnorc, allowing Spyro and Ember to charge in at the spirit gem in his mace, both attempting to remove it with their teeth. Gnasty, however, continues to flail his mace around as he continues walking blind, knowing that they'll go for it. Gnasty then shoots out a beam of magic from his spirit gem, zapping Spyro and Ember, causing them to let go of the shard and fall to the ground in pain. Gnasty then regains his vision, looking at Flame in seething rage.
Oh, Sparks, when did that ever catch on?
That's enough!
Gnasty then uses magic to zap everyone at the same time, knocking most of them out. Gnasty then uses magic to lift them all into the air.
I've had enough of you meddling dragons!
What do you plan on doing, Gnasty?
Same plan as before. Make trophies!
Gnasty then uses the spirit gem to turn the dragons into crystal dragon statues, each one of them turning into one slowly.
No! You won't get away with this!
Oh, little runt. I already have.
Spyro begins to breathe heavily as the petrification is about to reach his head.
Spyro! Sparks, I'm sorry.
Spyro then turns into a fully turned crystal dragon statue.
No! Take him to the boat. I'm gonna send these dragons to a special friend of mine. He'll be thrilled to learn I found the purple dragon he's been looking for.
Very well. But what of the insect?
Gnasty then levitates Sparks and Zoe toward him.
I'll keep him and the fairy as souvenirs.
Suddenly, the portal shuts off, confusing Gnasty.
What happened?
Gnasty then notices the damage done by the energy blasts he shot off while he was blind, noticing that they damaged the portal. An armed thief then checks the control console for the problem.
The damage is not all. According to the readings, the portal will also need more energy, and and the fairies plugged in hardly have any more to spare.
Gnasty Gnorc then takes a good look at Sparks, Zoe, and his spirit gem shard.
Not a problem. Take the rest of the fairies if you want. I'll have the remaining Gnorcs fix up the portal. Plus, I've got spare batteries.
Back at the Artisan Kingdom, in the main hall where the Council of Elders resides, the sound of fighting can be heard from outside. Just then, a Gnorc is knocked through the entrance door, poofing into a red gem. Mrs. Shoutfire then enters the room, looking around to find the Council of Elders and Dragon Lords as crystal dragon statues.
Well then, looks like we've got a lot of work to do.
Toasty is shown to be beat up after getting caught in the crossfire of battle, still tied to Mrs. Shoutfire's tail.
I'm gonna need a minute.
Back in Gnasty's realm, the Gnorcs are loading the crystal dragon statues onto a boat docked at a place that a wooden sign dubs Gnorc Cove. Within the ship's cargo bay, the crystal dragon statues of Spyro and friends are all laid out like toys on a bedroom floor, no organization put into their placing. Outside the ship, as it's getting ready to ship out, what appears to be a dragon wearing a cybernetic armor is watching the cargo ship, preparing for departure. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to check out our merch store, Buy Me a Coffee page, and Amazon affiliate link linked in the description and pinned comment below, so you can help us expand the channel and give you guys higher quality content. Also, if you want to check out our original content, be sure to check out the playlists linked in the description below. With all that said and done, I'm JT Anime, and I'll check you guys later.